Hello everyone, myself Subrata Shah, a faculty of Dr. Sudhir Chandrasuri Institute of Technology and Sports Complex of Automobile Engineering Department, and today I am going to discuss about the pneumatic tires. So all of we know the terms with tire. It's like the legs of a vehicle. So it can help to move the vehicle to the forward or reverse direction. So the pneumatic tires are it can also support the vehicle load, and also the cushion effect on the wheels against the small road shocks, not like shock absorber. Okay. And transmit the driving and braking forces between the wheels and the road surface. And last one, you can say that it converts the steering effort into the directional movement. So these are the almost all functions of a tire, pneumatic tire or automatic tires. So this is the purpose of a pneumatic tires use. And we know the tires are basically broadly classified as two types. One is inner tube tire or tube tire, and another is tubeless tire. Nowadays the era is going on the tubeless tires. The inner tube tire, and this is the figure of inner tube tire, this one. And the inner tube inner tube tire is a flexible tube container, and which when the tire is inflated with the compressed air, it expands, and until it contains the full air of expansion. And this expansion is also controlled by the tire. Okay, so it is actually working as a air casing. You can say that is one kind of air casing. Okay, so from this figure you can see these are the tire case, this is the tube location or inner tube, and this flange, this is the loose flange, and flap on his locking device is also there, and it is the rim that we discussed in our previous classes. So rim is used to support the tire. That is the main function of the rim. These are the valve stem. From this valve stem, the we can insert the air into the inside the tire. Now and in this type of tire, the tube portion protect the pressurized air for a long time. or long periods. And don't try to uh, release the don't want to release the air from the uh, from the tube concealed portion. Okay, and the tube is manufactured from the rubber sheets, and it is basically pure rubber material, good quality rubber material, and which are shaped on former and carved. It is totally a carved shaped. And the tube is also constructed to about the near about 10 to 15% undersized, because if we expand the air, the volume of tube will expand. Okay, and to provide an outer or inner to the tube interior, a valve is sealed with the inside circumference during the vulcanization. Okay, now I'm coming to this tubeless tire. In this type of tire, there are no uses of tubes inside the tire. Okay, and this tubeless tire constitute an outer cover, and instead of the inner tube, and unstretched rubber lining is bonded to the inner side of the cover wall. So this rubber lining is act as a inner tube, okay, which is performed in the tube tire. So this inner rubber lining is very important, and it takes a very important role to restrict the air inside the tire. The bit portion of the tire makes an effective airtight seal between the tire and the rim also. The taper rims set on each side of the wheelbase and adjacent to the rim flanges also, and it is assists the initial sealing between the bits and the wheel rims. Basically, it is when at the time of inflation of the tire. And car and commercial vehicle rims have taper angles of 5 degree, and for car that is near about 5 degree, and in commercial vehicle that is near about 15 to 17 degree. Okay, these are the rim taper angle. What is the rim taper angle? We have discussed in our previous lecture. That is 15 degree angle rim, U type drop center 15 degree tapering, that we had already discussed in our previous class. That type of rim is used for commercial vehicle, and for passenger vehicle, van 5 degree seat angle wheelbase rim, that is used for passenger vehicle for 5 degree seat angle of the rim. Okay, so these all are the interrelated, like rim and the tire. Without rim, tire is nothing, and without tire, rim is nothing. Okay, so both combination of the tire and the rim will provide you a very comfort journey, and also safe and faster journey also. Okay, and in this tubeless tire, the tire valve is generally positioned at a in a hole formed in the oil base and oil base, which is on the one portion of the rim, and car valves are sealed by the rubber rubber pieces, whereas the commercial vehicles valve have all metal threaded system, and it's secured in the rims by using some nuts. Okay, so for the safety purpose they are using such kind of nuts in heavy commercial vehicles. Now I'm coming to the topic of tire construction. Before this topic, I'd like to say something that what are the advantages of tubeless tire over the tube tire? Why we are using tubeless tire? Is there any benefit? Obviously, is there? Obviously, there is some benefit. What are the benefit? That is the air retention, safety, ride comfort, tire cooling, wheel assembly balance, and obviously assembly of tire on wheels. So these are the advantages of tubeless tire over the tube tire. Air retention means in tubeless tire, the inner lining does not stretch unlike ordinary inner tubes, and the cover wall itself, it resists air passage, therefore air loss is very much lower in that case. And the tire bits and the rim also provide a better sealing condition in between between them, and so there is no leakage of air around the rims and all rim and tire. And in case of safety, the tubeless tire cannot suddenly punctured, whereas a tube tire can suddenly punctured without giving any kind of warning or signal. So that's why what will happen, drivers is losing is steering control ability. There immediately the driver loses loses the steering stability. So in that case the accident may be occur suddenly. That's why tubeless tire can save too much than the tube tire. Ride comfort is another point. So in the ride comfort, the tubeless tire is very lighter, and the inner tube and tire giving the less unsprung mass reaction on the vehicle suspension system. That will give a better riding comfort to the driver or the passengers. And the tire cooling is also obviously faster than the tubeless tire than the tube tire. And tubeless tire assembly or fitting is very easy rather than the tube tire, because when a tire is punctured, at that time you can repair your tire very less time, like less than 2 minutes or 1 minute. We punch some glue type sticks into the hole, then it will be sealed. But in case of tube tire, you have to remove the tube, find out the leakage position, and then repair the tube, then install it against to the rim. So in that case tube tire is very much easy to assemble. Okay, so these are the benefits over the tube tire in a tubeless tire. Now the tire construction. So how the tire is constructed, there are so many points. So different parts of the tire is shown in this figure, and this tire is rubberized fabric plies over the rubber liner, and uh, wrapped around a wear beads. Wear beads provides a better strength the tire. Now we'll discuss the major components of the tire, or the construction of the tire. What are the major components? Car cases, beads, sidewall, and the tread. These are the major components of a tire. A car case. This is a horseshoe type inner lining of the tire, and is made up of number of layers of textile cord plies. The carcass form the backbone of it. The carcass forms the. It looks like the main structure, like the backbone of a tire construction, and the thread, beads, and wall all are mounted on this type of cord plies. Now coming to the next point, that is bead. These are the bead. It forms the inner edges of the tire and locates and centralize the cover to the wheel rim, and it is rigidly and it is rigid. It is very rigid, and it has to provide the strength to support the carcass also, and to achieve this endless wear core is mounted circumferentially through the beads of the tire. Now next point is sidewall. This constitutes the outside rubber which is covering of the carcass between the beads and the tire threads. The amount of protections provided to the carcass and the stiffness of the tire during deflection, which is depends on the thickness of the sidewalls. Now the tread, and this is the forms of the tire. If we look outside a tire, you can see the treads of the tire. The treads of the tire which contacts the road surface, and when the wheel rolling over to the road, and it is mainly a rubber compound, and its pattern design considerably influences the tire's gripping also, and road holding ability and working life. So this is the main part which contact to the road surface, so it has to resist so many forces, mainly traction. If we are providing the better quality of tread to the tire, that will give you the better traction force. Okay, now another types of, as per ply consideration, we can divided the tire into three types. Basically two types: bias ply type and radial ply type. And in bias ply type, that is bias angle construction, and another is belted bias construction. So these are the two types of the tire. So bias tie, so many textile cords are crisscrossed and crisscross types to provide the strength to the cross ply tire in rubber, and cross ply or bias ply. And firstly, they have to make the wall strong enough to contain the air pressure and yet leave them as supple as possible for deflection also. And secondly, they have to support the treads. And these two requirements conflict each other because to obtain the sufficient bracing of the tread, the ply must be reasonably stiff, which then means that the wall has to be rigid also. And the bias ply allows a tire to move through the tire footprint on the contact pitch also, and the tread is pushed together as it goes into the footprint also, and this stores energy in rubbers, and as it comes out from the root print, the tire rapidly expands and goes beyond the natural point into a stressed positions also, and opening the tread, and as it moves through the contact patches is one of the major causes of normal tire wear. So the tire wear is too much in case of biased angle tires. So body plies are placed at the angles, that's why it's called the biased angle. And is in belted bias tire, the tread stability and reduction of result is near about 100 near about too much near about 50 to 60% improvement here in the tire running compared to the bias angle type of construction tire. And by holding the tread shape, belted tire run cooler and improves the fuel consumptions, improve traction and double blowout resistance when compared to the bias ply tire or the bias angle construction type of tire. And belted bias tire do not flex as easily as biased angle construction tire, and so that so that the road shock is transferred into the wheels and suspension system also in this tire, and hence the wheel spindles, knuckles and suspension system are required to be very stronger in case of the belted bias construction type of tire. Now radial ply tire. In radial ply tire, it performs only one job, that is to make the wall of tire strong enough to contain the air pressure. There is no other job, and they do not support the tread, and so they do not require to be any crisscross type, and instead of that there are it laid readily following the neutral profile of the tire, and this provides a strong wall which is desirable. And to support the tread, a layer of the rayon or the steel cords is forming as a belt in place of it, and the purpose of this belt is to brace. This is the strip is to brace the whole of the tread firmly and flat down and open on to the road. Okay. And the greatest difference in tire lies in the cord materials and the way to put into the tire, the cross bias cord angle. In case of bias angle construction, that is near about 30 to 40 degree, this provides the cross side to side walls also. Now what are the characteristics of a tire required? As I told earlier, that is riding comfort, that is one point, and acceleration and braking. In conventional cross ply tires, states it is affected by the every movement of the wall because tread is not braced and held down on the roads. As a result of this, the tread blocks are able to shift and it's revolving about the road surface and providing a small contact area. It will like dancing, and then which reduces the road grips, and it will causes a uncontrolled driving condition. Okay. Now during the cornering, the cross ply tire do not bend sufficiently to absorb any sideways during the cornering, sideways force or strain, whatever you can say. The cross plies therefore pull and lift up one of the tread from the ground, and which reduces the road grip and also the tractive effort force or traction. And in case of radial ply tire, during the cornering it bends readily to and absorbs extra loads or extra strain also, not load, that is strain also. So the treads stay firm rigidly and also the flat down. With this whole working, the area of tread pattern beating into the surface of the road, so that will give you the better driving ability or the driving comfort. And tire life, next point. With the cross ply tire, when the wheel rolls, the distortion of the wall tends to pull the tread away from the road surfaces and thereby scraping the tread, which blocks as a road contacts begins and ends also. A radial ply tire produces a flat full width track which laying action along the wheel and road interference. And next point, fuel consumption. And this mode in case of radial ply, in case of cross ply or bias ply, in compared to the radial ply, the amount of energy reduces consumed while the running, that is that saving the fuel consumption, and it's near about 5% more fuel efficient. Means radial ply tire is 5% more fuel efficient than the bias type of plies. And initial cost, the radial ply tire is near about 20 to 25% costlier than the bias type of tires. So it is mainly costly tire, but the cost is initial one time cost is higher, but maintenance cost is lower. Okay, and you will get some extra facilities like riding comfort, acceleration, braking, cornering, tire life, fuel consumptions. So these are the benefits you can get in the tubeless tire instead of tube tire. Okay, but initial cost is higher. So this is the today's topic. This is today's topic is over. Okay, thank you.